I think I see it.
Okay, great. It says recording started. Okay.
Yes.
Um, all right. I'm going to do it on three. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. One, two, three. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Data is My Science podcast, a show that makes data is science. I'm your host, Dapper Data. Listen, today we are going to do something we've never talked about before. I promise you, we have never talked about this, right? We never talked about neural networks. We never talked about AI in the film industry, right? Neural networks in the film industry, right? There are some crazy things happening in the film industry, right? We got deep fakes, we got all this crazy stuff going on, and we never talked about it in the film industry. I mean, you all are probably watching stuff all the time on social media where you literally are getting faked out, right? You're probably watching all kinds of movies where they're doing all kinds of crazy things in the background related to neural networks that you don't even know about. So I brought a special guest on, and you know I have to have a special guest because I don't know everything. I know high level, I read a lot, and I still don't know even high level of everything, dealing with data science. So I brought a special guest on. His name is Ruslan. Ruslan, say what's up to everybody.
Hey there, Ruslan here. Nice to hear you. Please be with us. We're gonna tell you a few cool stories. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, we are, man. So when we talk about neural networks, right, in machine learning specifically, I know we talked about machine learning in the past, audience, but we're when you look up definitions around, right, they're talking about how it is a computer system inspired by the human brain. So you think about how the human brain works. You think about how it's designed to recognize patterns, and then you're learning from experience, and then you're making all these decisions, all that cool stuff. And if you can imagine neural network as a team of people working together to solve a problem, right? Each person being what they call a neuron, right? So you look at a neuron, each person is a neuron, and then they receive their own input, right? They have their own knowledge that they're gathering, right? And then they're sharing these results with the rest of the team, right? So you have a bunch of neurons coming together as a team. Then you have the team members together, they collaborate to come up with that final answer, right? And it's always adjusting. It's always coming up with a new answer, right? Or a better answer, right? It's getting more accurate, and the performance is getting better and better over time, right? So in machine learning, this is the same thing, right? You got neural networks, right? They're used for tasks like image recognition, natural language processing, ChatGPT. Russell knows he knows all about ChatGPT, right? I'm sure. um,
Yeah.
and decision making, right? So now you have the film industry. So we're going to dive deep into that film industry part right there. I'm so excited. So Ruslan is the Chief Technology Officer, CTO of Filmustage, and we're going to talk all about Filmustage. All right, a technology company that is streamlining the film production industry and process using neural network technology. So they're tying the two together. All right, that's what the industry is doing these days. And with 10 years of development experience, probably more now, and Ruslan has been able to develop the film use stage technology to automate the script breakdown process, right? Which is a painstaking process, right? And I actually have looked through it, researched it, and I'm telling you right now, I don't even want any parts of that. I don't want any parts of that industry and dealing with the whole technology process they have going on, because it is a lot, and that is necessary in the production industry, right? And so another tidbit about Ruslan is that he is a music. I want to say genius, right? You've been a lifelong musician, right? Let's say genius,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Thank you. Perfect description. Yeah, yeah. Really love music.
Yeah. He's well versed in sound design. So thank you for coming on the podcast, Ruslan. I really appreciate it. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for this wonderful description and introduction of me. And also, I must admit that you gave a really nice description of what's machine learning and neural network, what is actually is, like how it works. And you gave a really nice example. It's like a team of people trying to collaborate together, sharing the results. And once you have a big enough team, you potentially can solve any issue and simulate lots of various systems and
Yeah.
different kind of difficult stuff. So, well, a few words about myself. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm a CTO of a company called Filmustage. We started this business around 4 years ago. Three friends from the university. We graduated together with Igor and Andrei back to 2012 in Minsk, Belarus. So we know each other for quite a long time. So it was around the moment when I was a bit, tired of corporate job and just normal development, and we decided that let's try to launch our own business, and we still
Right.
and we're still going. So looks like we understood and got something in the proper way, did something good. So yeah, also I'm a really into music. I'm a lifelong musician, and I'm a really passionate about movies. I'm horror movie geek, to be honest. So I seen all of 80s classics, as well as
Oh man.
more obscure stuff from German stuff from 1920s, like Nosferatu, you name it. I really like horror genre.
Hmm.
It's
So,
never ending
so
source of
are you in a
inspiration.
band?
What?
Have you been in a band before?
Yeah. I had a multiple band, so I've been playing mostly punk rock and psychobilly music. So I taught myself to play double bass. Now I'm more into electric guitar, and also probably, hopefully, I will start a new band this or the next year, when I will figure out where I get the band members and actually write enough songs.
Man, that's amazing, man. You know, you've done some great things in your life, and I know I'm sure that you're going to do more amazing things. You know, being versatile, being spread across different domains, man, is always key. And when I look at geniuses, right, I look at people who study their craft, right, but they have multiple. They just want to experience, and they love experience and being exposure to multiple things. So, you know, it seems like that's what you're doing. You're on the verge of being the next Einstein, man, or close to it. So that's good, man.
Thank
That's
you.
what I'm talking about, brother. You know. So let's talk about Filmustage, man. I mean, this is something that, right, you know, is an amazing technology that you are doing within Filmustage, right? You all are doing something great, right? When I look at it, you're saying if you look at the website, right, you know, it says you're creating your project in 2 clicks and uploading the script in Final Draft or PDF format, right? And then
Mhm.
you'll automatically create that script breakdown with all the categories you need. You got the cast, you got the props, location, makeup, etc. You have all those different things, right? You know, going on. I mean, how is it changing the world? How is it making a difference in technology right now?
Oh, that's a good question, really. So, well, I want to start with how I actually got to this topic. It's all uh, possible because the CEO of the company, Igor, he's a filmmaker with a really long story, with an interesting background, and he knows a lot about the processes. He was also filming a lot in the US. So it came to our understanding that the way of doing things in industry is really conservative. It's kind of old school. They don't really like innovation, but it's 21st century. Okay, so when we really got some advanced technologies, and computational power is more advanced, and so we decided that we can deliver some innovation to this industry. That's for sure. So we started to dive deeper and actually see what we can improve, what we can update. So, and like every film production, every video production, screenplay based production starts with obviously with a screenplay. It's a piece of text, usually 100 pages long for a feature film, so which translates to something around 100 minutes of screen time.
Mhm.
And what you have to do, you have to basically sit down and carefully read the text, and write down or mark down all the mentions of actors, say props, visual effects, makeup, and stuff. And obviously, it's kind of routine repetitive task which takes anything from a couple of days to a couple of weeks or even longer depending on the complexity of the text. So, and it sounds like a great task for machine learning actually.
Yeah.
So definitely you want to be able to automate this kind of stuff because it's not super creative. Okay, you're just operating with information. So we started to build our model, started to build the data set, we started to run tests, and actually we got really nice results after a few experiments. And we decided, okay, so we're going to uh, hit the market with this idea that's okay. You don't need to break down to kickstart your project and basically understand once inside. You don't need to disassemble, dissect it manually. You can do it with a high accuracy rate using machine learning actually, and that's what we actually offer to filmmakers. You literally just upload your screenplay in a couple of minutes. We analyze it, and you get the really quick, accurate, and nice description overview of your project. Like you can understand like number of casts you need to hire, what kind of props you need, what kind of locations you need to potentially rent, etc., etc. So this is a really huge time saver of at the early stages of pre-production, and with this information you quickly can build even more. You can understand your schedule, so what you need to do to optimize your shooting schedule, where you can actually save, how to build your budget. You can add the references on our platform and quickly build various type of documents you would like to share with your colleagues and teammates. Also, we're going to bring team access really soon, which will be another huge step for us. So the way to collaborate on
Mm.
the same project for different professionals. So, well, the whole idea is to bring the best, the most useful, reliable tools to a modern filmmaker, potentially democratizing the industry, lowering the entry level, the threshold, and basically giving a chance to filmmakers to spend more time on creative tasks rather than manual labor and repetitive tasks.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I mean, I didn't realize how um, tedious and how meticulous you have to be in the film industry behind the scenes doing all of those manual tasks, right? Like what you're telling me is that there's a whole process, people behind the scenes writing stuff down and all that, and it's repetitive. And if it's repetitive, man, let's get this machine learning to work, baby. You know, I mean, we got to do it,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, we got to automate. I guess there's a difference, right, in between the automation of things. You can write scripts and things like that, but something like this, definitely with a large data set out there, you need to be able to automate. You need to be able to look at from a machine learning standpoint, being able to analyze things historically, making better decisions, all that stuff, man. So how's the data stored? Is it in the cloud? Is it on premise? You know, how you are storing the data, man, and then I guess analyzing it.
So we decided to make our platform as accessible as possible, basically accessible to anyone in the world. So we decided to actually run it on cloud, and we use Google Cloud for
Mhm.
our setup. So this is where everything is actually deployed, like front end, back end, and of course mm, AI engine also
Yeah.
runs on Google Cloud. So I think it's more easy and more useful today to have some kind of online tools
Hmm.
you can use anywhere. Doesn't matter where you actually at the moment. So we're also thinking about having a like offline application desktop solution for cases when, well, sometimes you are not in the place
Hmm.
where there's even an internet connection or cellular
Right.
connection, and you still need to analyze your stuff and build your schedule or build, build other types of documentation or work on your project. So potentially in uh, in the near future we're going to also have a like on-prem solution.
No, that's awesome because I actually was thinking about how um, a lot of the people, the clients that I work with, they're interested in this whole federated data management, federated machine learning thing right now. And they're like, they love edge to core to cloud, right? They love some type of edge device closer to them, like you were saying, an offline device or something, because at some point they lose connection, right,
Yeah,
to the network. And if they do, they still want to be able to process and analyze. They want to be able to do everything they need, and then when it gains connection, then bam, you send it out to where you need to go, right? Make the connection to
exactly, exactly.
cloud.
There's one part of the solution, and also sometimes you just don't want your device to be ever connected
Mhm.
to the world, to the internet, because well, if you have a $1 million screenplay,
Mhm.
you want to be absolutely sure and want to take all the precautions for it never to go anywhere and never leave just your laptop. This is also the
Right.
case.
Man, no, no, that's amazing. So are you all using like any type of tagging or anything in place, like labeling or anything?
Yeah, exactly. So the core technology solves the thing called name identity recognition. So
Mhm.
basically, just that you want to distinguish different type of objects in text. So you prepare a data set with correct labels,
Mhm.
basically telling which type of what content means what. Say this is an actor, this is a proper location detail, so vehicles or whatever. And once you have a big enough data set, you can train your neural network and run it for prediction and actually for never seen before text and actually get the results for exactly that.
Yeah, man, Ruslan, you all are doing some amazing things, right? We have to get you out there. We got to get the world to know what you're doing in technology. This is amazing. I want to talk about the future of technology, right? The future of not technology, but neural networks in the film processing industry. And I remember reading an article recently, right? I like to research a little bit prior to interviewing guests. And, it was an article talking about generative AI and how it's bringing the biggest disruption to the filmmaking industry in like 100 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're using generative AI, right, and they're doing things like removing profanity post production, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is getting a little intense, and I didn't know they're doing these things, right? So it's also transforming film and video. For example, there was something in Berlin they talked about where it helps companies make corporate videos, right, using AI and machine learning to generate real life actors. I'm like, what? Real life actors? What are you talking about? To create to create like hyper realistic or synthetic videos, right? We need a lot of more synthetic videos out there for testing, but videos in minutes, right? By inserting just a script. And I was like, I have to talk to Ruslan about this. So what's going on in the future of neural networks in the film industry? What kind of use cases are they talking about that's going to be out there, man?
Oh, it's a really interesting topic about the whole generative AI hype and stuff. So lots of difficulties in here, lots of problems potential. Of course, it works like magic. Let's be clear here. You the things you can do with Mid Journey or GPT-4 or ChatGPT, it's just insane. You can literally talk to a computer, or you can ask your machine just to draw anything never existed before potentially. So, but the problem is that it's a generative AI. Okay, it's generate stuff. It doesn't actually. It's not a library of
It's not
hundred
storing.
percent
Gotcha.
100% proven facts. It's a really complex neural network which generates response to your question basically. And well, quite often, um, ChatGPT just creates never existing stuff for you. If you ever tried to, let's say, create some code with GPT, it tends to tell you about never existing frameworks or some really weird stuff. The same about historical events and etc. etc. Um, Image generation is also a bit funny because the way how the machine understands the visuals, basically, it's a set of characteristics and features, really complex one, and of course it translates human language to those sets of features and then tries to construct an image out of that. And you definitely have some unbelievable, really inspiring results, but it still struggles with stuff like hands. Sometimes they updated Midjourney to generate better hands, of course, but still there are sometimes they just look terrible. Basically, that's because the machine does not understand how the hand works and what's the purpose, how your fingers move, and why it's all important, how it looks from different angles and stuff. When you try to generate, say, uh, film camera using Midjourney, it will generate you a really actually funny looking abomination of all sorts of metal parts and devices. But it looks like a camera, okay, but if you take a closer look, you can tell it's not designed to work. So once we will be able to actually make machine understand a bit more about the functionality of objects and stuff it tries to generate, we'll put it to the next level. Yes, it's a really hot topic in filmmaking industry because you can generate imagery, you can
Mm-hmm.
generate videos, deep fakes and stuff. You can have, for instance, a digital copy of an actor or a famous one, or maybe not existent anymore, and you can continue to create visuals using this person and his voice.
Right.
I personally find even more satisfying and more interesting the audio generation
Mm-hmm.
uh, networks and generative AI, which helps you create like never existed before tracks by Drake. Like that was like a recent case of feed by Drake and Weekend, if I remember it correct, right? Which was immediately put down by the label and the publisher because it violates all. Well, it's probably violates all possible regulations and
Oh, the
copyrights, but
weekend. Was it the weekend?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Weekend and Drake, and some guy generated a new song with their voices, and it sounds really realistic. So it definitely changes filmmaking as well, because you can create voicing with some dead actors potentially who already passed away.
Yeah. It gets
So
scary, man. A little creepy.
oh yeah, it's really creepy, to be honest, but it's funny. Maybe maybe we'll see more of this coming really soon.
Yeah.
The very same will be about the imager, actually. Well, for now it still looks a bit um, well, not ready for production, let's call it, but the technology will change and we'll get the better results. Nowadays there was a project on YouTube uh, where the VFX studio, they generated a anime
Mm-hmm.
based on a video. They actually shot themselves in really cinematic poses, and reading all these lines from their screenplay, and then they by frame they generated basically anime styled images and combined it into a video. So it looks okay. Still, you can see how it can't replace real animation where everything is precise. Well, it's all about precision, actually, because when you shoot a movie or draw animation, you want to control the things, and actually it's a huge part of your vision, like how the frame is built, how the characters are animated, and you cannot do this with neural networks. Still, with generative AI, you just describe some really high level. Well, of course, you can go deeper in details, but still, it's a really high level description of what you want to get, and then it's it's for the machine discretion how the machine is going to interpret it. So it's all about precision.
No, precision is definitely important, man. So let's I want to and thank you for giving that insight into everything because like I mentioned before, you know, the film industry, the future of the film industry is getting very, very highlighted, right? You know, and it's getting into some stuff that may be unethical, you know, in certain people's eyes as well, where we have to start keeping track of that. I mean, AI moves so fast, right? That
Mm-hmm.
we almost don't have time to say slow down and let's think ethics here, right? Let's think uh you know, when you think about creativity, right? And AI can automate some things of the creative process, but it cannot replace the human creativity entirely.
That's the point exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So film industry is a huge venture venture machine. Actually, it's every film looks like a startup, to be honest. So
Uh,
you have an idea, you try to get financing, you hire the team, and you want to produce it as cheap as possible to be as tight in budget as possible, and at the same time you want to get the box office as high as possible. And what they really excited is about is about the ways to actually predict the potential box offices, and ways to save the budget, and all the ways actually to optimize the production and stuff like this. So it's film industry and filmmaking is a huge business, and it's a venture, and they need tools like this.
no, they do need tools like this, man. I mean, the use of AI in the filmmaking industry is raising a lot of ethical concerns, you know, such as the potential for AI to kind of, I guess, perpetuate those stereotypes, right? Or manipulate audience emotions and things like that. And it's, you know, the question is that right? You know, is that ethical? You know, I mean, as technology is moving faster and faster, we don't sit down. I mean, who was it? The guy who created Tesla stuff. You know, he has like this whole petition that went out, right? He wanted to stop AI, especially
Mhm.
after ChatGPT came out. He wanted to stop AI from going for like 6 months at least, because he said we're going to probably die if we don't do that. You know, I don't know how intense that can be, you know, but you know, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, that's interesting, but well, it definitely can feel scary sometimes, but you just can't stop the progress. Once it was started, you can't slow it down even. So about that petition about like the potential threat of machine learning and AI engines advanced like ChatGPT. It's a funny story because not very long uh, from that when this petition was published, Elon Musk actually he hired a whole new division of machine learning specialists and data scientists actually to potentially to build something like OpenAI's GPT-4. Google got their own BART engine, which was not so long ago published for public access. So things are not going. Things are not looking like it will, like it's going to slow down or will be stopped at something. It's not going to happen. At the same time, of course, the ethics are questionable. What the machine can generate, we cannot really control. We don't know what's inside uh, the model of any neural network. We don't understand because it's too complex to ever analyze it actually, and it's like a huge maze. Okay, you can enter in one part and you never know where you're gonna exit, and you can potentially block some dangerous entrances, which leads to potentially dangerous points or places in your maze, but you'll never be able to block all of them, and there always will be some explorers who will find uh, some new backdoors.
No, absolutely, absolutely, man. So, Rosalind, man, you have said so much on every one of the topics, right? We talked about ethical AI. We talked about the future of neural networks and how it is really increasing all the greatness that already comes with the film industry, but it's now increasing it. And we talked about Filmustage, right? Which I mean, I advise all the audience to please check that out. If you are in the industry, if you have a need for something like that, I'm definitely going to pass it on to my buddy who lives in California, and I'm going to say, look, he
Please,
does a lot of scripts, he does like script writing, and this will be valuable to you. And
please.
here's why. But I like to leave the audience with what I call a summarization, right, or a dope nugget or gem of everything. And what I've learned today is I think AI is so important in things like that pre-production phase, right? I know it's coming to post-production as well, but it can be used to streamline the pre-production process, including casting, and you have the location scouting, you got storyboarding, right? And I only know this
Exactly. Yes.
my buddy, right, who does it. And even think about special effects, right? Creating that more realistic, immersive special effect that's out there, right? Possibly reducing the need for practical effects and saving time and money. I'm sure it does all that, right? So I advise people who are in the industry, um, or not even industry. I actually advise people who are data scientists, who are like movie buffs, right? Who are interested in movies, who are interested in the film industry so much that there is always a place in this AI or data science path for you right now. It doesn't matter where you go, everybody is probably going to be in need of it in the near future, if not now, to be more competitive in the industry and to take advances. So, thank you again, Ruslan. Is there anything that you want to leave the audience with?
Well, yeah. The world is changing and changing really fast. So I recommend everyone to read something
Mhm.
about machine learning on or AI engines. So go and try it by yourself. Try to generate some images with Midjourney. Try to talk to OpenAI's ChatGPT. It's gonna very soon is going to be a really huge part of our life. It's so massive. It's something like Google actually. How Google changed everything. Like it changed the whole internet, and generative AI like this again is going to change the way of doing things. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to replace like people and some professions, but it will be a really nice tool for those who want to be competitive, who want to stay with the latest tech and always be on top. Well, also, I really want to invite all the filmmakers out there to go to our platform,
Mhm.
filmustage.com, and try to use it on your own platforms, on your own projects. We are available to chat 24/7. Just shoot us a message on our uh, support using our support bot on the web page. We'll be really happy to help you, and also to invite you even in a more special way. I want to give a discount code. It will be called Dapper Data 30, and it will give you 30% off of
Oh,
every
man,
subscription we have on our website. So please go and
def-
try it. We also have a 7-day trial, and after that you can decide whether you like it or not. So no strings attached.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's www.filmustage
.com.
filmustage.com.
Exactly.
Filmustage.com. Got you. Um, Audience, definitely check that out. Right. And is it forward slash Dapper Data 30? Would that take them to the promo, or you just put it in at the end?
Uh, let's we can have it here, and also we'll put into the description, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, so look, let's play a game, right? Really quick. We're running out
Okay.
of time. I want to play this game called Overrated, Underrated. All right. And this game is pretty fun. It lets the audience know that we think about things other than our geeky stuff that we do every single day, right?
Mhm.
There's 5% of our brain does care about or have an opinion about ice cream. We do care about that, right? We have an opinion about cheese, man. We have an opinion about basketball or different things, right? We have an opinion. We might not care for it. We might not watch it on a daily basis, but we have an opinion about it. If you ask us, we just don't give our opinion outright all the time. So this is a chance for us to talk about things other than our geeky stuff that we do every day, right? Are you
Cool.
ready?
Yeah, I'm super ready.
All right, Ruslan. All right, first one. I want to call it real football, soccer.
Okay.
Is it overrated, underrated, or right where you?
Uh, Overrated. Okay.
You said overrated?
Yeah.
Oh man, what? The overrated, man? Most people say that it's underrated, man. Most people don't really I mean most people would say it's underrated, right? Coming from uh um where are you located at right now, Russell?
In Europe, Lithuania, so here it's a kind of big
Yeah,
thing. So,
yeah. I mean, so you don't even watch soccer like that?
well, it's in our part of Europe, it's always was like a default kind of sport, and everyone is supposed to play football. I just never got this. So, the championship is really huge, but it's just not my cup of tea.
All right, okay, next one. I hope I say it right. Ceppaline.
Yeah, I think it's underrated.
Okay, okay. So if people don't know what Zeppelin, am I saying it right, Rosamund?
Zeppelins. You can. Well,
Zeppelin.
it's if you want to call it in a more Lithuanian way, you call it Zeppelini,
Zeppelin.
but
Okay, okay.
Zeppelins is absolutely fine.
Okay, so Zeppelins is this potato meat dumpling format. It's from my understanding is very delicious. You know, I have a couple friends that are from Europe area, and so Rosamund is saying definitely check it out. It's underrated, so check that out. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
all right. But it is heavy on the stomach, right? Are we saying it's heavy? It's a little heavy.
yeah. It's super heavy, so have your pills somewhere close to you.
Okay. All right. Hardcover books.
Underrated.
Underrated? You still like them?
Yes, I try to buy, well, everything I find interesting. Especially, I'm a huge fan of like illustrated books for with lots of photography, especially
The kids' books.
something. Well, yes, it's also really nice, but with photo reproductions or art reproductions, really really nice way. So they have to be hard covered.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about YouTube?
Oh man, it's like an air. You cannot say is air is rated or underrated. I don't know. It feels just fine.
Okay. Right where it needs to be. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I give you that. Last two. The printer.
Overrated. I hate printers.
I hate printers, man. I hate it, Russ. We
I
should do
hate
like
this.
a petition on stop printers, man. And
Yeah.
somebody always wants to ask once a year. They ask you to print something, and you
Yeah,
can't do
it's so
anything but
stupid.
print it.
It's so stupid, especially when you go to some governmental structures. They all the time they need printed paper. So it's so stupid.
All right, last one. Beer.
Oh, tough question. Well, I'm a really huge beer lover, so let's say it's underrated. It
Okay,
must be
okay.
even more exposed.
Yeah, I would say the right ones. I don't know if people would call me. I it either has to be very strong, right? Like a strong Guinness, or it has to
Mm-hmm.
be light, like a summer ale light.
Yeah,
In between, for some reason, I just can't do it, man. It just takes me over, man. I don't know.
Guinness is fine. So you know what I gonna do for after the recording session? I'll go straight to the bar and order a pint of Guinness.
Oh, nice, nice.
So
Guinness is
thank
smooth.
you.
It's good. I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Well,
ha- I
do
have
it,
a
man.
spot. I have a spot where they have a really nice Guinness on draft. So thank you for the idea.
No problem, no problem, man. Well, thank you again for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it, Ruslan. Thank you, audience, for listening to Data is My Science podcast. Show them it's data your passion. I'm your host, Dapper Data. As you know, you can follow me at Mr. Dapper Data. That's @sign MRDAPPERDATA on any one of the social media platforms. Definitely check out filmustage.com, right? And when you go in there, the promo code that you use is Dapper Data 30. That would be great. I appreciate it. And Ruslan, is there any place they can reach you at, and anything you're promoting right now?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me by my name, or you can find me by our platform name, and you will instantly find me. I'm a CTO of Filmustage, so please connect. I'll be more than happy to talk to anyone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Definitely check out Ruslan. I'll put it in the show notes, everybody, the contact to LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. You know how to reach me. Thank you again, Ruslan, for being on the podcast. And audience, I love you all. Peace.
Yeah, take care. Thank you.
Mhm. How'd you like it?
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Great,
Had a lot of
great,
fun
great.
actually.
About 40 minutes on the dot almost, man. About 40.
40 minutes, 4 minutes sharp. Nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice,
yeah.
nice timing. So, where can I reach you actually? Do you have LinkedIn or something?
I have LinkedIn. Let me try to connect with you right now. Is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Um, I have you can any one of the social media platform, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But I used to do a lot of social media data analytics, but right now I work with a lot of school systems on like
Hmm.
machine learning and retention rates, all that stuff they care about. So I work with universities and I work with anywhere from lower education, I mean, the secondary education, younger kids, all the way to graduating PhD. So I work with universities, work with elementary schools a lot. I kind of do a little bit of everything in machine learning and just machine learning in general, but at a little bit of a lower level, I'll say, I start off data analytics, so do a lot of the analytical stuff, right, from Excel all the way to Python, whatever it is,
Hmm.
you have to clean the data, and then once it's in there, um, I do finalize with a lot of Power BI. I don't do Tableau as much, but I do Power BI. So, I work with a lot of partners, customers, things like that on all those different topics. And I'll be maybe even a consultant for some things. So
Cool,
it's been a
cool,
fun ride so far, man. Been
nice.
pretty busy with my PhD in data science right now. So hopefully I finish that by the end of the year. But if not, man, I'm going to go crazy. So you'll see me going
You're gonna do
crazy.
it. You're gonna do it. Good luck. So you're definitely gonna do it. So,
Yeah.
well, actually, I'm really interested. Like, what's the difference between how what? Well, the question is like, what is the salary of data scientists in the US like per year? Like, what's the range? Actually, really interesting to compare
Yeah.
to the Europe.
Okay, so the salary that I've seen in data scientists, and it all depends if you're like consulting or contracting is different from a working for a company, right?
Mhm.
But I've seen all the way from so I've been offered anything from I wouldn't say 120K all the
Mm-hmm.
way um, to 350K.
Good,
So
good.
it just depends on the it just depends, right? On the company, right? What's their budget a lot of times, and then what they're trying to do. And also sometimes here you'll see um people are trying to hire data scientists and make them do every and anything, right?
Okay.
And those people, right, they'll give them a big salary, but they'll work them to death, right? Whereas you have a team where you can give smaller salaries to each one of them, and you can actually have some good products at the end. So the um, there's some teams they actually expect you to do everything from the cleaning to the visualization, right? And they call you a
Mm-hmm.
data scientist, and um, but then they have some of them where at the end of the day, all they want you to do is really some of the maybe the analytic side, maybe they just want you to do the end result of it, right? Visualization, they still just call you a data scientist. So they use that word pretty much fluently everywhere, and it's very attractive to somebody, right? But at the end of the day, they don't. they don't really get you to do what you think you're going to do, right? You know, even
No,
machine learning. I mean, not you don't even see too many people doing that as much as you would think, right? You know, I think
that's sad.
people in the country is doing it more.
That's really sad. So, what's the
Yeah.
point actually? Hire really nice, potentially expensive professional and work him to death. I don't get it. That's
Right,
strange.
right, man. You know, so I like to pick and choose my work. You know, I work for a company called NetApp right now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty good. But that's more pre-sales and stuff, so it can bring in money a lot, and I call that my angel investment fund. So I'm really big on. I started off really data management and coding in like Java, and I taught myself Python and all that stuff later on. But covered in Java and C a lot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and I did data management right. So I understood FPG, I understood GPUs right a lot, and I
Yeah.
think that's very important. I don't think data scientists know that enough, and I think once they do know that, then they'll make them better technologists, you know, in general. If a data scientist could kind of work their way backwards and understand the hardware more. So I kind of preach that a lot. You know, I'm going to try to start a blog about how important it is to do understand
Yeah.
data management as a data science, you know.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. But all right, man, I'll let you go, man. Do your thing. I'll give you an update on the recording and I'll send you everything, man. Have that beer, man, for me too. All right. You there?
let's
Oh
let,
yeah.
let's just let's just continue this conversation. Really looking forward to
Yeah, yeah,
speak soon.
definitely, man. Thank you. Thank
Cool.
you, Ruslan. Have a good one, man.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye bye.